This morning I paid $5,555 for a 60-minute call with a coach doing 10 million a year with a super interesting business model. And today I just have a couple of notes. It's gonna be pretty relaxed, pretty laid back in terms of my biggest takeaways, both from them outside of this call and what I got from them on this call. Now, spoiler alert, I'm not going to give you their name, right? And their name isn't important because I don't want to share any private details, maybe some things that they haven't shared publicly. But the point is that I'm going to share their business model, how it works, and my biggest takeaways in terms of what I got from their $10 million, super simple, super lean business. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I came across this woman. So it's a woman, guys. End of last year. And as soon as I came across her content, firstly, I realized her content was targeted at women. Now, there's a few guys I think might be in the mix, obviously dudes like me, paying for an hour of her time to get her expertise and advice. But she has very colorful, very vibrant marketing marketed to women. So that was the first thing I noticed. The second thing was I kind of checked out a couple of her podcasts and things like that. And I realized that she had a very different business model. Now, backstory and why this is important for this video is my business model up until that point was really effective for building the type of business I didn't want to run, right? So 2020, 2021, and a good portion of 2022, I was doing the classic bro scaling mix, right? It was like push, hustle, team, ads, funnels. You're maxing out as much as you can to get as many leads, calls, clients, and cash as possible in the mix. And what that led to for me was firstly feeling a bit burnt out. Secondly, feeling like really a mix of fulfillment and unfulfillment, meaning like I loved the people I was working with. I knew that like there was a lot of good things happening with my business, but it also led me to feel a lot of stress and a lot of overwhelm. So end of 2021, we scaled all the way to 347,000 cash in a single month. But that came with a team of 13, running a lot of ads, a lot of setters, closers, probably a business model that you're really familiar with. And so leading into 2022, I simplified things. And I actually turned off marketing and sales for a good portion of 2022. And what happened was, ironically, I cut my hours back, I simplified our offers, and we made the same amount of money in 2021, which was 2 million, as we did in 2022, which was 2 million. And that was with a simplified business model, and I was starting to have more fun, but I was still not clear on the business I was actually trying to build. In other words, I felt like I was building a business meant for someone else. Maybe someone else would love the business I had, but I hadn't found my sweet spot. So enter this woman, this coach. I found her Instagram and straight away I realized that she was doing the things that I wanted to be doing more of, and she had a super simple business model. And so let's kind of I'll give you a quick snapshot of where her business is at right now. She's making 10 million a year, so she's at that 8-figure level. She has no ads, no sales calls, and only a team of 3. And here's the crazy thing for me, because if I hear those things, my mind instantly goes to, well, she must be maxed out, burnt out, working like crazy. But what's crazy about her model is she's only taking 6 hours of calls and client work a week. 6 hours a week. And so here's like the essence of her business model in a nutshell. I'm going to keep some details left out, but you will get the gist real easily. And I'm going to break down the 5 biggest lessons that I got from this call, this $5,555 call with her this morning. Okay, so firstly, she is a high ticket coach. So she sells really expensive things. In fact, her highest level offer is over $100,000 if you want to be a part of it. In fact, it's multiples of that, but I'll leave the details aside. She has 4 tiers. She has cheap kind of masterclass type products. These range anywhere from $99 to $1,000. And in that, she also delivers some live programs that might be multiple days or span across multiple weeks. Then she has a next level, which is what I would call like a high ticket membership. Let's say it's around $1,000 a month and it's a year-long commitment. And in that, you get all of the live programs and masterclasses that she does throughout the year, which is a lot, right? But it's not a lot for her because of some of the things I'm going to share in a moment. Okay. Then the next tier, she runs masterminds, short-term, long-term. It's group environment, but it's high ticket. So we're talking $50,000 plus. And then beyond that, she actually has some high-level one-to-one mentorships where people pay her multiple 6 figures to be in those. So that's the gist of the offers. Now, what's really interesting is then she only does organic. I mentioned she has no paid ads whatsoever, no fancy funnels, no crazy landing pages. It's all organic marketing, mainly based on Instagram, with a little bit of Facebook. I should also mention she does not have hundreds of thousands of followers. She has 30,000 followers and very, very good content in her organic acquisition. Let me just jump into the first thing that I noticed about our conversation together, and what really stood out to me is she's doing a number of different offers, right? One-to-one, group. She does master classes, which is one-off training. She does some live programs. And to me, from the outside looking in, it felt like a lot. And here's where I talked to her. I said, hey, so you're doing all this stuff. For me, outside looking in feels really, really overwhelming. What's the secret? And here's the secret. She only sells and delivers things she's excited about. Now, I cannot overemphasize the importance of this. We talk about it in our world. We call it an aligned offer, something you're excited to sell and deliver. And most people are so obsessed with making an offer so good, the prospect feels stupid saying no, that they will add in all the bells and whistles to the point where the prospect says yes and the business owner says, oh no. Right? It's that sense of like, they said yes, but now you have to actually deliver on all of this stuff and you're not as excited about that. And so what's really fascinating to me about our conversation we had together is she only sells things that really resonate with her at a deep level that she's excited to both sell and deliver. And she does it in such a way that is sustainable. And I want to give you a really big key that I've learned over the last 6 months, which is that if you want it to be sustainable, it has to be fun. Right? That's a big key. It's often overlooked by those of us that are trying to scale to the moon and make a big impact. We feel like we've got to choose between profit and fulfillment. And the reality is that you can, but you should design offers you're excited to sell and deliver. You want to design a business that you're actually excited about running. And what really struck me is with all of these different offers that, again, seemed complex to me, for her, it was all in flow and there was a real sense of ease about it because she was excited to sell and deliver all of it. On the flip side, even if there were ways that she could make more money, she was not into it if she wasn't excited about the way she was going to make money. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's nice for her because she makes 10 million a year. But she told me that that's how she's been all the way through. And so rather than it being, oh yeah, she only does fun things because she's got all the money in the world, she's making 10 million a year. No, that's how she got to making 10 million a year. She only sells and delivers things she's excited about. So that was the first big lesson for me, was regardless of what you sell, regardless of how many offers you have, which in my experience for most people, they should only have one high ticket offer they're mainly focusing on under 7 figures. Whatever you're selling, however many of them you're selling, you need to be excited about the things you're selling and the things you're delivering, okay? That's number one. Number two is just this lesson on brand. So this was a huge thing that stood out to me last year when I came across her, and then us chatting today, is the best brand move, like the best marketing angle, is unapologetically being yourself. Right? The best marketing angle was unapologetic authenticity. And what I love about this girl, this woman, whatever you, I feel like I'm about to get canceled. No, I'm kidding. Whatever approach you take to your marketing, oftentimes most of our marketing is smart, but boring. Meaning like we're so obsessed with coming across as people who are experts in our field that we lose the authenticity. And so what happens is we just look the same as everybody else. And maybe that's a problem you're facing right now in your marketing. Like maybe for you, you're having prospects on sales calls being like, hey, like how is your offer different to so-and-so competitor? Or I'm on 3 different sales calls this week, all with different people. For me, when I talk to prospects now, that almost never happens. And it's because I've been really trying to implement this lesson that I've been learning from her and from others around unapologetic authenticity. And specifically what this means is it's about building a business and building marketing that you actually really align with and that really represents you well. Because it's not just about speaking to people's problems, it's about speaking to their values. And the way that you speak to your ideal client's values is you speak from your values. Like if I just give you a quick lesson, your best clients are going to be people who are like you value-wise. So if you're trying to attract really good clients and you're only talking about problems, you're going to get a mix of different clients. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are fit, and some of them aren't a fit because you're not talking about the most important thing, which is your own values and beliefs. And if you can layer on talking about their problems, their aspirations with your own values and beliefs, like in a way that actually represents you authentically, from there you start to actually attract perfect match clients. And so this lesson for me has been huge because everything from the crazy vibrant colors to kind of like, I would call her a pretty extra personality, which she would describe herself as that as well. It's been so fun to see her do that because it's given me so much more permission to, in a sense, own my weirdness, right? Own my own personality, own my values and beliefs, and in that place understanding that that's actually not just something that we can tolerate, but it's something we should embrace. And that's actually one of the best marketing angles, is embracing and leading with unapologetic authenticity. So that was like the biggest thing, second biggest thing I took away from this call and kind of from following her from the last 3 months. Now, this lesson is a bit about sales, but it's also about like overall philosophy of what it is we do as coaches. If you think about your program right now, there's probably a bunch of bells and whistles that you have, and there are a bunch of outcomes that you help people achieve. So if you're a business coach, right, you're helping people make more money typically, or save them time, or get them more calls or clients or leads. Like there's a strong outcome. If you're a health coach, you're trying to help people lose weight or gain muscle. Like we create these really concrete outcomes. And I want to encourage you, if you haven't yet done that, that's super important, right? It's very important to go from the land of vague and confusing to simple and clear. But you don't want to stop there. The most powerful lesson I've learned from her when it comes to sales is you don't just want to sell a product, you want to sell a transformation. And this is how I've worded it. And let me break down what I mean here. People don't want a new what, they want a new who. So let me talk you through this. What I've realized is one of the most powerful sales tools you have is helping people see that joining your program will not just get them a new client acquisition system or a new amount of clients in their program, or just losing weight or whatever it might be. It's not just the outcome. What people want is they want to become a better version of themselves. It's not that people want to lose 30 pounds. It's that people love the idea of who they're going to become at the end of losing 30 pounds. People don't just want to hit 100K a month in their Stripe account as if it's some arbitrary outcome. They want to become a 7-figure entrepreneur and everything that means to them. And so when it comes to your marketing and your sales and your offer, you want to make sure that you're not so focused on the 30 pounds lost, 100K a month, 10 clients a week, 5 extra calls, and forget that people don't just want a new what, but they're aspiring to a new who. They want to become someone new. They're aspiring to transform, not just to acquire a new client acquisition system, a new 6-pack abs, whatever it might be. They want to become someone new. In other words, they are someone now, and they're trying to overcome the obstacles, overcome the roadblocks, overcome the barriers to become the person that they dream of being. And this has been a huge lesson for me in terms of watching her and being on this call today. She is amazing at selling the aspirational identity. If you work with me, it's not just about getting the outcomes or getting the results. It's about becoming someone new. So that's number 3. Number 4 is self-awareness. And this was my favorite moment of the call by far. So if you think about her business model again, okay, 10 million a year, team of 3, no ads, no sales calls, super lean, mean, simple, and again, 6 hours a week of client delivery. So she's got a really, really great business model. And keep in mind for me, I have been surrounded by and have been the person who's never satisfied and has always been reaching for new levels. So she's at 10 million a year. I'm thinking like she probably wants to get to 15 million a year and 20 million a year. And so I asked her flat out, I said, so you're at 3 team members now, which is like super cool. But do you think there's a time or a season in your business where you're going to have to sacrifice that simplicity in that business model to kind of achieve the impact that you want? In other words, what I'm asking her is like, do you think you're going to have to maybe sacrifice some of this like lifestyle stuff that you're doing in order to like get to the next level? And she looked me dead in the eye and said, hell no. And I love that moment so much because she's so clear on what she is willing and not willing to compromise. It brings me to this kind of question that I've been asking myself a lot, and a question we challenge all of our clients to ask, which is, are you building your business around your life or your life around your business? Because if you build your life around your business, you might be destined to have an amazing big business, but what you will have in the shadow of a business is an unfulfilled, stressful, overwhelmed life, because you'll constantly be having to sacrifice your personal interests, your personal goals, your health, your fulfillment in honor of the pursuit of hitting your business goals. But when you flip it around the other way and you say, I'm going to build my business around my life, you're actually not limiting yourself to a small business. That's a total misconception. You don't have to choose between hanging out with your family or making money. You can do both. Crazy idea, I know. You don't have to choose between being healthy, growing in your relationship with your friends, having hobbies, and having six-figure profit months. You don't have to do that. But what you do have to do is build it in such a way that you're building it with intention, which says, my life is the most important piece, and I will not build a business that infringes on my values and my personal goals. And I loved that moment with her, because if I was talking to, and I'm going to be sexist here for a second, as a guy, I think I have permission to do this. If I talk to most guy coaches that I meet with, freaking absolutely almost everyone would go, yeah, man, I'm just going to push it to the moon, scale to the moon. Yeah, well, I'm going to build a team. I'm at 5, I'm going to be 10 and 15. And it's so rare to have people willing to stand their ground and say, I will take this business model as far as it'll take me, but I will not spend more than this amount of hours on calls a week. I won't sacrifice time with my family. I won't sacrifice time with my health. And when she said, hell no, that almost gave me permission to be like, you know what? There are going to be things in my life and my business that I'm going to say, hell no. And I'm not going to encroach upon those values, because I want to protect them. Even if it means I might make less money over the long term or in the short term, I want to say things that are like, heck no, hell no, no way in my life. And that comes from self-awareness, right? So that was the fourth big thing for me. And the number 5, and this is just a constant theme of everything I've been learning recently, is that your business can be as simple as you allow it to be. So when I was in LA last year, we were considering moving countries to somewhere more tropical. The first place I was thinking about was Bali. And at that point, my business model was simpler than it was in 2021. We were hitting the big months and the big team. I'd simplified a lot, but I had all of these hangups around if we go to Bali, it's on the opposite time zone to America, and how the heck is this going to work? And we were doing all these different things. I had all this team, they were based in America. None of it made sense to me. And so what we did is we went to Mexico. And so I was literally Googling and asking people on Facebook, hey, where's the Bali of Central or South America? And people giving me different places. And we end up in this place just south of Cancun in Mexico. And it's beautiful. It's amazing. But what happens is I get to Mexico, and literally on the first night, I'm standing in the resort. The apartment complex is beautiful. I should be so happy. I should be so thrilled. And I stand there and I go, oh no, we're in the wrong place. And what I realized was, I'd overcomplicated my business so much that it was now making my life worse by making me be in a country I didn't want to be in because of time zones, because of I couldn't figure out how to manage a team from afar. And this huge lesson I've been learning over the last 6 months is that business can be as simple as you want it to be. Now, that doesn't mean you can eliminate every single hard thing that you want in business, because business is hard. Even though it's simple, it's going to be hard. It's going to require hard work. I'm not here selling you a dream of the 4-hour work week. I haven't figured that out, right? But what I realize is that when it comes to the offers we make, the funnels we build, the types of people we work with, the work that we do, whether we sell via sales calls or sell via DMs, which is what I do now, there are so many assumptions we make and so many limiting beliefs that we could break if we just allowed ourselves to imagine a business that's even simpler than the one that we're leading. And what's crazy to me is she's making 10 million a year with a team of 3, with just a handful of offers, right? One main funnel, no ads, no sales calls. And it's because she committed to the path of simplicity. You don't stumble into simplicity, you fight for simplicity. And so that was a big lesson for me when it comes to our call today and just life in general, is that business can be really simple. High ticket businesses can be really simple, or you can let them become really complicated like an overgrown garden. But the work needs to be done to pull out the weeds, to preserve what you want to see grow and flourish, so that you can have the simple, lean, fun, profitable business that you desire to have. So I don't know if this was helpful, but worst case scenario, I recorded this just for my sake so that I can remember these notes from this amazing call with this woman doing $10 million a year. But I'm hoping a couple of things might have stood out to you. Phenomenal business, phenomenal mindset shift for me, and 5 really big lessons that I'm going to be taking with me into the next year as I go from kind of projected $1 million in profit this year to really building towards the $2 to $3 million profit business that I really want to see built over the next 12 to 24 months. So anyway, I'm hoping this is helpful. If you have any questions, let me know below, and I'll see you in another video.